Hi, my name is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film, and also proud Phoenix Global Artist Ambassador. Today, I am thrilled to be speaking with Genie from the acclaimed indie space rock band, Sputnik the Band. For more on Sputnik the Band and Genie, you can read more about all of them right below this video, but in the meantime, here is a sneak peek at the incredible talents that is Sputnik the Band.
Come into my dreams with violet eyes, ancient wisdom, guided skies, understanding why we're here. Deep compassion, no more fear. Lead me to who I really am. Your voice comes through this morning light. Clear the decks of phony eyes. Sun shines now with clear blue skies. Never forget why you came here. Each morning is eternal. Never forget why you came here. Never forget. Awaken to who you really are. The path will lead you near and far. Never forget why you came here. Never forget.
Well, hello, Genie. How are you?
Hello there. I'm well. How are you?
Genie, I'm doing so much better now that I'm speaking with you. And like I told you off camera, I'm so grateful that I went down the Sputnik the Band rabbit hole these past few weeks, and you all are just freaking amazing. The acclaimed indie space rock band. I want to know, Genie, talk to me a little bit about how Sputnik the Band came about.
Okay, well, it's really interesting. I was in a couple other bands before Sputnik, and I was in this little music scene downtown. There's a band called Long Wave and some other bands that were playing down on the Lower East Side. And we all would go to each other's shows, and I was playing accordion, and the drummer from this other band that played in the same scene asked me to play accordion, and then that led to listening to songs together. And I had written this song about Sputnik, the dog Laika that was sent into outer space. And we just kind of recorded it on a 4-track, because there used to be 4 tracks in the early 2000s. And yeah, so we recorded this song about the dog Laika and how the dog's perspective of being sent into outer space. So it was from the perspective of the dog.
I freaking love it. I mean, y'all are just great storytellers. I mean, to even just think about that, that is so, I mean, you must get that a lot, that you all are great storytellers, no?
Maybe. I mean, thank you. That's such a compliment, because that's sort of how I look at songs, as telling stories or diary entries, or, you know.
No, absolutely. Well, it's evident to me. Maybe it's because I'm a performer. I was a performer for many years, but now I'm a director. So I can kind of go at 30,000 feet, and I feel like I'm eavesdropping in on very intimate thoughts. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's cool. That's a really interesting way of looking at it. I love
Jeannie,
that.
I want to know about the sound of Sputnik the Band and the different genres of music you all are influenced by, to then filter it through all of your genius brains to make it very singular. It's a very singular sound.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if it has something to do with the fact that we all came from different regions, different parts of the United States. So we all grew up listening to different types of music. So Mike, our guitar player, was from Arkansas, so he listened to a lot of Southern rock stuff. And the Kinks, we all listened to the Kinks. And then some of the other members are Midwest, some of them are East Coast. And so we all grew up kind of listening to all different things. Like I grew up listening to the Velvet Underground and Spoon and all these kind of New York sounding bands. And then of course the Beach Boys are thrown in there. it's just, we're all over the place. Frank Sinatra, I can't even,
But
you
see, what I
know.
love so much is that you all are like lightning in a bottle. It was all of these different genres, all of these different life experiences, all of these different creative minds and hearts and bone marrows in one cauldron. And I'm curious to know like what you all worked on or were able to work on during these past 18 months that you're excited to finally release, because I believe you have a new single out, correct?
Yes, we do. We
Talk
have
to
a
me a
new
little bit
thing.
about it, Jeannie.
Okay, so that that single, Never Forget, was really kind of a lot of times musicians channel things, like sometimes music comes through, it's almost like you didn't write it, it just kind of comes through. And that was a song that really just was inspired at sunrise. It had like a divine kind of energy to it. Uh, and then that became kind of part of the theme of this concept album that we're going to be putting out, that's based on a friendship that the actor James Dean had with a man named Lou Bracker, who is alive and lives in California, and he's 93, I believe. And he tells all these incredible stories about their friendship. And it's not like anything you would have read in like the icon books about James Dean. It's all about them as these two friends in LA just hanging out. And it opened this whole window, because I've always loved James Dean. He's been a huge influence on me. And it just opened this whole window into him. And then I got to meet Lou, and then the pandemic hit. I met Lou in Palm Springs right before the pandemic. And he wrote a book called Jimmy and Me. And so the new concept album is very much influenced by that book. And I highly recommend that
And
book.
didn't you just, I stalked all of your Instagrams. Didn't you just pass his house?
Yeah, there's every year they have on the day that he passed away, when he had the car crash, they have a big memorial service in his hometown. And it's amazing. And all these people that either knew him or their relatives knew him, or just people that really have been influenced or inspired by him show up. And we all just honor his life in his hometown, it's just kind of a magical place.
It seems like there's a spiritual nature to James Dean, because he had passed away so young. He became, dare I say, somewhat of a martyr? Does that make sense? Not a martyr, but even more of, I don't want to say elusive, but again, there's so little out there with substance. So it makes sense that you, of course, went to a source that knew the guy behind the curtain.
Right. And he kind of, expressed that he was actually a really happy guy and really excited about his life and racing cars. And a lot of people portray him as this sad, gloomy guy, but Lou was like, we had so much fun. He was psyched about the future. He just did 3 great movies. He couldn't wait to race again, because they wouldn't let him race. Warner Brothers wouldn't let him race because they didn't want him to have an accident when he was filming Giant.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting.
Well, it's interesting too. It goes to like our society, right? Like our society loves the drama. They love the negative. They love, the sad artist. It's more easily digestible. But you know what I mean? It makes a better headline. But the fact is, wow, that's amazing that he was just a happy dude.
Yeah. And, I'm sure, as an artist, he might have had some tough days, but I don't think he was as like heavy as sometimes they portrayed him to be.
Well, Jeannie, listen, before I ask my final question, I want to let everyone know, for more on the amazing Jeannie and Sputnik the Band, you could read more about all of them right below this video. Jeannie, in looking ahead, I'm curious what you're most optimistic about as an artist in getting back out there and performing live.
Well, I'd like to just say the pandemic was really enlightening, because we were able to really go back and really be present with our songwriting. And it almost felt like we got into a deeper place, because we were stuck inside and we weren't out playing out as much. And so my vision is now to take all that magic that came from being kind of shut in and like bring it out into the world, and hopefully inspire other artists and people to feel good, or feel, whatever emotions coming through the songs we're writing. But yeah, I mean, this new concept album is going to be called the Lou Bracker album. We're naming it after Lou. And we also have another straight on classic Sputnik the Band album coming out as well. So 2 albums.
I love it, Jeannie. Well, listen, I'm so grateful for your time today. You are such a light, and I'm so grateful that we're connected now.
Yes, me too. And you are such a light as well.
Thank you. Well, it's hard not to be happy speaking with you. And again, going down the Sputnik the Band rabbit hole these past few weeks has been an absolute joy. And I am so grateful that I am now truly a fan.
Yeah, well, we are grateful too. So fun meeting you.
You too.